This is a topic that I don't really know a lot about. I know some, but we do have a presenter, Ed Burr, who's an investigator with the Attorney General's office that's going to address this topic. Dangers of scams include devastating financial losses and severe mental and physical trauma, can have lasting impacts on the victims' reputations and their opportunities. We're all at risk for scams. And so he really will go into detail about how to recognize, how to avoid, but also what to do if you are a victim of a scam and how to report that. And so it's just important information for absolutely everybody to have.
Fentanyl and opioid awareness, recognizing, avoiding, and reporting scams, and the negative health effects of energy drinks are the topics that will be covered when Kansas State University's Living Well Wednesday webinar series returns this fall. The free webinars are the third Wednesday of each month from September through November. On today's Sound Living, timely information to improve the lives of Kansans. Sound Living is a weekly public affairs program produced by Research and Extension at Kansas State University. I'm Jeff Wichman. Northeast Area Extension Family and Consumer Sciences Specialist Sharolyn Jackson, who also serves as state leader for the Walk Kansas program, says that the Living Well Wednesday webinar series continues to focus on topics that highlight the work that Extension agents do in communities throughout Kansas. Sharolyn, we're getting ready for another Fall Living Well Wednesday webinar series, and this series has been going on for a number of years now, and you've had an opportunity to cover a lot of topics, and that will continue this year.
That's right, Jeff. We've been doing this since COVID, when we were looking at ways to program more intentionally through a virtual framework. And so Living Well Wednesday was so popular, we just kept it going. And our webinars are on the third Wednesday of the month from September through November, and they're at 12:10 p.m. when we start the webinar. We open the room at noon, and so you can grab some lunch and join us. And to find us on the web, just do a search for Living Well Wednesday Extension, and it should pop up.
And this is really to highlight a lot of the things that Family and Consumer Sciences agents do across the state.
Exactly. This fall, we're focusing on some topics that are very important consumer and health topics. And over the course of the years of doing Living Well Wednesday, you can get a really good feel of the real breadth and depth of Family Consumer Sciences work. And we have all of our webinars. The recordings are posted in a description, and then any additional resources our speakers provided. So that's all on the website if you want to go back and see what we've done in previous seasons.
A lot of people know you from the Walk Kansas program, but really it goes beyond that. You do a lot with just health and fitness.
Just overall health and well-being and nutrition. Our agents also are really skilled in providing programming and family financial management, things around insurance decisions, also a lot of mental health type work and aging, how to age successfully as possible. And so we have just a wide variety of topics that we cover.
Really an opportunity for anybody who's living in the state of Kansas to find something that's going to relate to what they need.
Yes.
In terms of what you'll be working on this fall, we're going to look at fentanyl and opioid awareness.
That's our first topic in September, on September 17. Our presenter is Jenny Ebert. She's a community health educator with the Riley County Health Department. And so these series have offered us the opportunity to utilize our extension agents and specialists as well as speakers from our local communities across the state. And Jenny does a fabulous job explaining how one pill can kill. And unlike most opioids, fentanyl can be lethal with the first use, and it only takes a 2-milligram dose, which is like 5 to 7 grains of salt. And so that can cause death for an average-sized adult. So it's very, very dangerous. And I think she does a fabulous job explaining on how to be more aware of those dangers and how to prevent that with yourself and your family. And she's just an excellent presenter.
There's an opportunity here that I think a lot of people appreciate, is the fact that these are longer conversations, so you really do understand the topic more so than we do sometimes just from seeing opioid crisis or fentanyl crisis.
Right.
We hear those, but we don't fully understand how damaging it can be.
And she has real-life stories that bring it home and help you realize it can happen to anyone. And I think that's an important message that she brings. She talks about what to do to protect yourself and your children, and also has other resources to provide. She does travel and provide educational information and programs beyond this area. So I think it's a really important work that she does. So we're glad to have her on the 17th.
Another topic you're going to focus on is scams, and boy, I think we see those just...
Oh, yes. This is a topic that I don't really know a lot about. I know some, but we do have a presenter, Ed Burr, who's an investigator with the Attorney General's office that's going to address this topic. Dangers of scams include devastating financial losses and severe mental and physical trauma, can have lasting impacts on the victims' reputations, and their opportunities. And so we're all at risk for scams. And so he really will go into detail about how to recognize, how to avoid, but also what to do if you are a victim of a scam and how to report that. And so I think it's just important information for absolutely everybody to have.
Yeah, we used to think that this was all done over the phone. Now with the internet and social media, there are a lot of other ways that these scams can take place.
Exactly. There's just so much to cover in that department. And now also with AI, they can generate video or photos or audio to convince someone that about things you never actually did or said. And so it's really important to know how to prevent and recognize a scam.
Another is energy drinks, and this is something that we hear a lot about, the fact that energy drinks are not for everybody.
No, and you need to be very careful with them. Their energy drinks are beverages that contain stimulants, so they contain high amounts of caffeine and added sugars, maybe some herbal ingredients, and they're marketed to boost energy, alertness, and performance. And so caffeine is the primary contributor to their stimulant effect. And they can offer that short-term boost of energy, but it's really important to mention, too, that these are distinct from sports drinks, which focus on hydration and electrolyte replacement. So energy drinks are different. They're very popular due to that effectiveness they have in giving you that quick energy boost. They can also have some damaging effects, and those can include some cardiovascular effects like increased heart rate and blood pressure, perhaps arrhythmias, irregular heartbeat, and in rare cases, even a stroke, depending on the person. They also can have some neurological effects like anxiety, nervousness, agitation. They can impact your sleep and cause you to have insomnia. There's all kinds of things, even gastrointestinal effects in terms of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. And so there's a lot of reasons to be careful with energy drinks. Specific people that could be at risk are children and adolescents, and also pregnant and breastfeeding women, anybody who has a heart condition, and then if you're taking some certain medications, like people that take antidepressants or anxiety meds. You need to be really careful with energy drinks. So that topic will be explored in more depth, and also some alternatives to energy drinks that people can consider, and just to be aware. And I think their marketing strategies are very appealing to our youth. They make them associate them with exciting lifestyles, extreme sports, even some cultural identity. So they really do a good job of boosting their appeal, but you need to be careful.
So I'm assuming this then goes beyond just caffeine. There's some other things in there that may have an impact on our health?
Yeah, and caffeine's the primary stimulant, but there are other things in energy drinks. They have a lot of sweeteners, high sugar content, B vitamins, but caffeine's really what gives them their real stimulant boost.
Let's talk a little bit, if we can, about Walk Kansas. You had another successful year, and what maybe are you thinking about in the year ahead?
Well, we are working already for Walk Kansas 2026. In the coming year, we're going to focus more on incorporating physical activity into workplaces, and not just, you might say, well, maybe you're retired, or maybe you don't have a workplace that you go to, but these are also techniques that you can include in your families at home, in any kind of maybe faith-based group that you belong to, and how to just make healthier habits what's automatic. It's just what you divert to is your default. And so we're going to talk a lot about support, how you provide support to each other in terms of places where you work or spend time with others. So those family environments, groups and community groups that you belong to, but also most importantly, like workplaces where we spend a lot of our time.
Yeah, the workplace has changed a lot in terms maybe of our overall activity within the workplace. Sometimes it's just from the car to the building, and that's about all we get, right?
We spend a lot more time on Zoom. I know I do. I have a lot of Zoom meetings, and we used to do those more face-to-face. You might walk from one building or one to a next, or in a community, you go from one place to a next. But a lot of things are done virtually now, and that, I know for me, I spend a lot of time, I feel, just right behind my computer.
And it's real easy when you're behind the computer to not get up to even just do any movement.
Right. And so we're going to address that too, look at ways that you can have little prompts. Maybe it's on your phone, on your computer, that can nudge you. It's like, oh, it's time to get up and move. Or other things that you can do in terms of, like, I don't want to have a printer in my office. I like to walk down the hall if I have to print something. Or a fun little challenge that I did one time is that when I needed to take a break, go to the bathroom, I went across, I went to another building. And so that got me a few more steps in. But just little things like that where you can add some steps, and then after a while it becomes it's just the way you do it. It's just how you do things.
That's really what we need to get to, isn't it? Is where we're feeling like, I need to get up and move. I need to be moving. I need to get my 250 steps this hour or whatever it might be. But we really have to make that an intentional act.
Right. And there's a lot of benefit to that. You think about sometimes when you've been sitting for a long time and your knees hurt when you get up, or you feel stiff. Well, if you're doing that throughout the day, you're lubricating those joints, and you're going to realize that you're feeling better. It's just really good for you to do, to break up that sitting. And if you're at home watching TV, the same thing. Commercial break, that's a good cue for you to get up, move around a little bit, or change locations of where you're watching your show. Just something to get you moving so you're not just stuck in that one position for a long time.
That's been kind of one of the shifts, isn't it? Is just make sure that you're moving throughout the day.
Right. We went through a phase where we said sitting's the new smoking. It could be in terms of the detrimental effect it has on your health.
In terms of this last year, I know the participation was just as steady as it's been throughout the years.
Pretty much so, yeah. And we're really hoping to, now we'll have a new online system to hopefully make that reporting and registration process a little smoother. That's our hope. But we really just want to energize people to just get them involved and come up with their own little challenges within their workplace or in their community that they can do to encourage each other. And we'll have a series of webinars, again, that focus on some of those topics. But that's what's in store. We're working already for next year. Hopefully have some new virtual trails to explore.
And the Family and Consumer Sciences also will have a bunch of programs for 2026 as well that people can be on the lookout for.
Yes, we do. We have a new set of what we call our lesson series, and so we have some new topics to explore there, some really good ones this year too, so we'll be talking about that.
That's K-State Research and Extension Northeast Area Family and Consumer Sciences Specialist and State Leader for the Walk Kansas program, Sharolyn Jackson, with information on the upcoming Fall Living Well Wednesday webinar series. The first topic in the 3-program series, Fentanyl and Opioid Awareness, is September 17th with Jenny Ebert, Community Health Educator for the Riley County Health Department. The session starts at 12:10 with the room for the webinar opening at noon to allow participants to log in, grab their lunch, and get settled. The Living Well Wednesday webinar on October 15th is on how to recognize, avoid, and report scams. Ed Burr, an investigator with the Kansas Attorney General's Office, will lead that program. Energy drinks are the focus for the November 15th webinar. Johnson County Nutrition, Food Safety, and Health Agent Chelsea King will discuss how energy drinks can offer a short-term boost, but their consumption can lead to negative health effects, especially for children and adolescents. For more information, search Living Well Wednesday Extension to find the website. That's Living Well Wednesday Extension. Jackson says you can register anytime this fall during those 3 months, and that once you've registered, you'll receive notification to join the webinars. She also says that recordings and other resources are available on the website. The extension programs for the 2026 annual lesson series include Kindness Matters, Early Literacy, Building the Foundation for Lifelong Learning, Healthy Connections, Family Meals in a Snap, Good Gut Health, and Nourishing Your Body Through Perimenopause. To learn more about the programs being offered where you live, contact your local county or district extension office. Sound Living is a weekly public affairs program produced by Research and Extension at Kansas State University. I'm Jeff Wichman, and this is the K-State Radio Network.